Have you ever wondered about the English of your favorite Chinese celebrity? Have you? Well, in this video, you're going to find out how good they are. I'm going to be ranking from worst to best, from 0 to 10, the English level of Chinese superstars, in my own opinion, of course. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe. Click the subscribe button below. If you subscribe, I'll be happy. If I'm happy, then I can make more videos. So please subscribe. Oh, if you haven't seen my other video about the English of Chinese superstars, make sure to check that out after you watch this one. It's pretty good. All right, let's get started. Number 1 is Zheng Shuang.
I grade 5.
你要不要我帮你说？
不是。I'm also reservation the Julie. You know.
She's trying to change her reservation and she can't quite find the words. She can't get the words that she probably learned before. She's not really sure which form to use. She says I reservation instead of I reserved. Also, her pronunciation isn't very clear. She says Julie instead of July. So I'm going to give her a 2. I think it's very good though that she tries. Her English isn't that good. She can't really find her words, but she tries in front of her friends, in front of a camera, on a TV show that will be seen by millions of people. So she gets a 2, but I think she's pretty brave. Next is Huang Xiaoming.
老 old 干 dry ma mother.
I was not going to put him on this list because I couldn't find enough English of him on video. But then I found the song from the 2008 Olympics.
All the nations come together. One dream, free man fly higher. One war, one dream all about us. No fears, no hunger, no best, no territory.
And I realized maybe his pronunciation is not so clear. For example, instead of saying world, he says whirl, and he doesn't really finish the sound. It should be world. Also, instead of saying higher, he says haya, haya. It sounds a little bit weird. The one that really stands out is the not at all. The not at all one. He says not tay tall, not tay tall. So it doesn't sound very natural. The main thing for him, the main reason he gets a 4 is his pronunciation. I'm not exactly sure how well he can speak in a conversation because I couldn't find a video of him speaking in conversation. So this is based on his pronunciation. This is, by the way, now my new favorite song. I like to sing this song when I'm in the shower. I say, "Na hey ho." The next one is Luhan.
But I know can help us defeat them.
I'm 26 years old, and I'm a man.
Luhan gets a 4.000371. Basically, that means a little bit higher, And the reason is because of his pronunciation. He actually has very clear pronunciation. I know you can help us defeat them. He says them correctly. He says the TH sound the right way. Hello everyone, my name is Luhan. I'm a man. He says that very clearly and he blends his words together. So I'm not sure that he can say that much. I don't think that he knows that many words, but the words he does know, he says quite clearly and quite naturally. I think he has a coach. If you haven't seen it, make sure to watch my video about Luhan's English. Actually, we can learn some things from his pronunciation. Next is a model who lives in New York, Zhu Xiaowen.
I come from China, and my hometown name is Xi'an. I'm 24 years old now. I love New York because New York is really freedom for me. I can do everything. Even I'm crying on the street and I was sitting on the floor. No one like care. I just do myself.
So I could probably have a good conversation with her and I would know what she wants to say, but she makes quite a few very simple mistakes. She says New York is freedom instead of maybe I feel very free in New York. She says I can do everything instead of I can do anything. Even I'm crying on the street. She should say even if I'm crying on the street. So you have to have that word if in there. I can just do myself. Maybe she wants to say I can be. Kids screaming over there. New York is a weird place. I can be myself. I can be myself. So she gets a 5. I'm going to give her a 5. Next is Jet Li.
Just like a lot of American people have a dream. He dream one day have a wonderful wife, wonderful son, have a good education. Everything he work for the more money. Usually action movie just fight for the beginning, beat up someone, beat on the end. I think his movie always show you something, the character. So that's I'm really respect work with him.
Jet Li definitely speaks English and he can speak pretty fluently without stopping. He can be in an interview and answer questions very clearly. So that's great. He can communicate well. However, his pronunciation is not always clear. Instead of saying American, he says Merkin, Merkin, Merkin. So it sounds a little bit different. He dream one day have a wonderful wife. This sentence is just missing a couple of words that it needs. He dreams about one day having a wonderful wife. This is the common thing that I've seen from his interviews. He is able to say what he wants to say, but his pronunciation is not always natural, not quite natural, and he's sometimes missing words from his sentences. Jet Li gets a 5.5. The next one is Jinxing.
I still want to give people idea. Let's look at that. Even the young people fall in love today in 21st century, but when they come to marriage, the family still have a huge influence. That's still a big issue in Chinese society.
Now we're getting into some really good English. You can tell that she's spent a lot of time speaking with native English speakers. She has that natural, confident sound. Now she does still have an accent. I can tell when I'm listening that she is Chinese. It's pretty easy to tell. So her accent is pretty strong. But again, she seems to be very confident, and I like listening to her speak because she's so confident. She does make a couple of small mistakes here and there, but it's not a big deal. So she gets a 6. I'm giving her a 6. Next is Jack Ma.
And my geography teacher. She came to the classroom and say, well, geography is very important. Because she said, this morning I was in the West Lake in Hangzhou and met some Westerners. And she said, I asked, where you're from? And they said, some nation. She said, I don't know. So they draw a map. They say, now I know because from the map I know where they're from.
Jack Ma gets a 6.5. Now, if you haven't seen my other video about Jack Ma, make sure to check that out. Jack Ma is a great communicator. He's a great public speaker, and he's really good in interviews. He also sounds very confident, and he's able to creatively explain whatever he wants. However, he still has a very strong accent. His accent is quite clearly from Hangzhou. You can tell he has that accent. It's kind of strong. So for example, he says instead of West Lake, he says West Lake. He adds to west. Also, when he says geography, he says fee kind of like fei instead of fee. This trained me the way of think. We could say this taught me how to think, or this gave me a way of thinking. A way of thinking would be more natural. So he gets a 6.5. Next is Zhang Ziyi, maybe my favorite Chinese actress, besides Angela Baby. Forgot about Angela Baby.
Each time you go to the set, you have no idea what is to happen next or what will happen at the end. He works with you to give life to his characters. This is what I discovered. You first have to get to know Wong Kar-wai, and he has to get to know you.
She makes a couple mistakes here and there. You have no idea what is happen next instead of what will happen next. You have no idea what will happen next. But it's really small stuff. She gets a 7. The reason that she doesn't get an 8 or a 9 is because she sounds a little practiced when she's speaking, like she's thinking carefully about every word. A very natural English speaker won't be thinking about their words. So I think she's trying to avoid making mistakes, and that's good. But I can tell that she's being careful, and so for that reason, it's a little bit less natural than a native English speaker. Next is Yao Ming.
You know, each day if you walk on the city, I would say very often you will met a guy, a gentleman, a lady who from European or United States.
If you're sitting in a locker room, NBA locker room for over 6 months, you learn.
What's your 20,000 word essay going to be on?
That would be a little bit different.
Very hard, huh?
Yeah, I may Google some.
Yao Ming gets a 7.5. Just like Zhang Ziyi, he's not perfect, but you can tell that he learned his English in the NBA. He was constantly around other players in the locker room talking, right? So he learned real English from real Americans in real situations. And I can feel that. We only have 3 more left. 3 more. Who will be 8? Who will be 9? Who will be 10? Let's see. The next one is Tang Wei.
The first time I meet Anli, I can remember very clear, and about he asked me a lot of questions about my family, my education, my background, and I think it's all of the things about my life, and I feel a little bit nervous.
Her voice sounds so nice. I could listen to it all day. It's kind of deep, but also confident. She's very conversational. She has almost perfect English. Her pronunciation is really good. She gets an 8. An 8. And I have to say, I always had the idea that her English was bad because of that movie, Finding Mr. Right.
Sleepless in Seattle. You know that? I love that movie. I love it.
She's so good at English, she knows how to do a very, very bad English accent. It's awesome. That is very nice. Good job. The next one is Chris Wu.
The whole progress took about like 3 to 4 months actually.
3 to 4 months every day?
Almost every day. Yeah.
Wow.
I would say it's a pretty hard piece to learn. When we were working separately in China and Korea, we didn't really get a chance to meet each other a lot.
Right.
Because we all have like really busy schedules. And we would like actually miss each other a lot. Yeah. So this time around we actually get together and we live together too. All 12 of us, in the same dorm,
Wow.
Yeah. So it's actually great.
He is so close to being a native English speaker. He has zero Chinglish accent. He sounds completely native, his accent. He still, once in a while, makes a little slip up. One I heard was, we have 4 months of training instead of months of training. But it's so small. And I think if most people were having a conversation with him on the street, they would say, oh yeah, you're a native English speaker. He gets a 9. Pretty good. Before we go to the last one, I want to ask you to do something. After you subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know which Chinese celebrity you think has the best English and why. I will choose one person from the comments to give a free English Udemy course. You can check out my courses in the link in the description, but I will be choosing one person for a free course giveaway. Make sure you leave a comment. The last one. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Finally, we have Eason.
Even something like thrash music. I mean, I can't stand it sometimes, but it's like, You know, that kind of.
It's an art, like to
It actually is. It actually is. It's really hard. I would encourage everyone to listen to anything. Just choose the songs you like. The good side is Cantopop has his own character.
10. 10. The best English. 10. 10. Better than mine, maybe. The best English there is. That's the top score. His English is perfect. It's great. It's great, everyone. It's great. There's really not much to say. He's completely fluent in English. It doesn't matter how much he talks. He's got a nice British accent. He makes the same number of mistakes that maybe I would make or any other native English speaker. We all make some mistakes, right? But he understands not only the language very well, but also the culture behind the language. And it's very easy and natural for him. So clearly we can say he is 100% fluent in English. And so he gets a 10. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, you will definitely like the other video I did on the same topic. Also, make sure to check out the link in the description to see my courses on Udemy. And if you leave a comment, you have a chance to win a free one. Okay, I'm gonna choose one person. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can see future videos, and I will see you in the next one.